CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. 5 teenagers are facing serious charges after a violent incident in central Windsor. Police say it happened just after 6 o'clock on December 14th at a home in the 3500 block of Wells Street. Officers say a woman was outside with her children when a white Dodge Caravan pulled up with several men inside. Police alleged one suspect got out of the vehicle armed with a machete while another fired a BB gun in their direction. The vehicle fled and police say a witness followed it onto the EC Row Expressway where the BB gun was allegedly fired again towards the witness's vehicle before she broke off. No one was physically hurt. Police later located the vehicle and say 5 teenagers have now been charged, including with assault with a weapon and discharging an air gun with intent to wound. Because of their ages, their identities cannot be released. Now, it's been a busy few days for Windsor Fire Department after a string of fires across the city, some that have been deemed suspicious. This morning, crews responding to Windsor Avenue in the 900 block around 8 this morning after a heat lamp while in use was placed too close to a couch. Damage is estimated at $200,000. One adult and 2 dogs were displaced. No injuries to report. Meanwhile, police are investigating one of those suspicious fires from over the weekend. Windsor police say an arson was reported early Saturday morning at a vacant home in the 1600 block of Drouillard Road. Officers were called to the scene around 3:30 and say the back of the house was heavily damaged with an estimated $75,000 in damage. Now, surveillance video shows 2 people approaching the property, pouring an accelerant, and then setting the home on fire. Police are now looking for 2 white men believed to be between the ages of 18 and 25 years old. Residents and business owners in the area are asked to check security or dash cam footage from early Saturday morning for anything that could possibly help investigators. In an unrelated investigation, police are searching for a suspect after a vehicle was torched, this time in Amherstburg. Windsor police say in the early hours of December 13th, the suspect was dropped off by a taxi near Mullins Crescent. They believe the suspect poured accelerant on a 2017 Ford Explorer, setting the vehicle on fire. The blaze spread to part of the home, causing more than $100,000 in damage. Fleeing the scene, the suspect ran back to the taxi, which police have not been able to track. They say the suspect is a man wearing all black clothing. Anyone with information that could be helpful is asked to contact Windsor Police. And an update to a file from earlier this week. One person has now died after a lit cigarette near an oxygen tank sparked a blaze. This was on December 12th in the East End. Officials say someone was smoking in a wheelchair while using oxygen, where that individual was rushed to hospital with critical injuries. They've since succumbed to those injuries, with officials reminding the public not to smoke while oxygen is in use. Now, Ontario is tightening its rules to protect families from what's known as the silent killer. New carbon monoxide alarm requirements are coming to almost every home in the province, and fire officials say homeowners and landlords should start preparing now. Here's CTV's Chris Campbell.
It's colorless, odorless, and it can be deadly in minutes.
The number of times where the caller calls 911 and says, I've not been feeling so good for a few days, and then they go out in the fresh air and they feel a lot better, and we come in and we find that there is carbon monoxide in the home.
Fire Chief Chris Case from Chatham-Kent says around 50 people on average die from carbon monoxide poisoning in Canada each year. Now the province is expanding the fire code to better protect residents against carbon monoxide poisoning.
People don't really know this silent killer is going through their homes until sometimes it's too late.
Starting in 2026, nearly every type of home, houses, rental units, condos, and apartments must have CO alarms if there's any potential source, including furnaces, stoves, fireplaces, or attached garage. And alarms will be required on every story and beside all sleeping areas.
If you're up in your bedrooms late at night and then all of a sudden you have something going on with your furnace in the basement, they want that early detection.
For multi-unit buildings, alarms will be mandatory in units located beside or above service rooms or garages, and even in some common corridors.
You've got to have a carbon monoxide alarm on every floor of your house. And that's going to give you that extra level of protection so that as soon as the carbon monoxide is detected, you're alerted. You're not waiting for it to get up to where you're sleeping.
Homeowners must make sure alarms are installed and working. Landlords are responsible for installing and maintaining alarms in rental units, and tenants must report any issues.
Your landlord should be coming to you and saying, we're making these changes to be compliant with the fire code. And, you know, that's especially important when you've got like apartments, multi-block apartments, high-rise, that, you know, every one of these apartments should be getting serviced by a carbon monoxide alarm.
Fire officials say now is the time to check your alarms, replace expired units, and plan ahead, because failure to comply could lead to fines and far more serious consequences.
Prevention is always better than trying to get out the door because the alarms are going off.
For the cost of life safety, it's a relatively small investment.
The new rules come into effect the first day of the year, but fire departments say carbon monoxide doesn't wait for a deadline.
It's a preventable tragedy.
Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Firefighters in Canada say they're facing more violence on the job. The union, representing thousands of firefighters across Canada and the United States, are urging the federal government to strengthen protections. They say out of 117 fire departments, 40% of firefighters say they have experienced an assault in the past 5 years, with incidents ranging from verbal abuse to deadly attacks. The Department of Justice says it does recognize the need to protect emergency personnel and ensure a workplace free from abuse. The province of Alberta is getting ready to shift a new pilot project into drive, raising the speed limit on rural highways to 120 kilometers an hour. Now, that's even faster than the increased speed limit we were given on certain 400 series highways here in Ontario just a few short years ago. So with that in the rear view, should our province consider following Alberta's lead? CTV's Robert Lothian looks into it for us tonight.
Stretching more than 40 kilometers between Tilbury and Windsor, drivers along this corridor are limited to 110 kilometers per hour.
I just got back from a trip to Europe, and they drove a lot faster there. The Autobahn in Germany is much faster. And so I find the speed limits here are definitely a lot slower.
Even using the 401 sparingly, Windsor driver Robert Saunders feels the speed limit could use an update.
So if you're talking about good weather conditions, 120 should be fine.
Those changes are underway in Alberta, where drivers will be pressing the gas a little harder. Government in that province greenlit a pilot project increasing the speed limit to 120 kilometers per hour on some rural highways.
I like to make time if I have to go to Toronto. I wouldn't mind if it was a 120, to tell you the truth.
I think there is an appetite for a majority of Ontarians that would favorably consider an increased speed limit.
At the Ontario Safety League, President Angelo DiCicco says increasing the speed limit should rely on research. Since 2019, the province has raised the speed along stretches of 400 series highways by 10 kilometers per hour. Increasing the speed limit, DiCicco says, shouldn't change the definition of stunt driving.
That hard cap limit of 150 kilometers an hour should not be touched. I would not recommend that in any way, shape, or form.
So far, the Ford government has not hinted at further speed limit increases. Former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis believes that's the right call, saying it will only put more strain on police resources.
People are going to drive 10, 15, 20 kilometers over. So if you up it to 120, now you know people are going to be doing 130, 135, 140. And so that's going to increase the number of deaths and injuries.
Regardless of which direction Ontario takes, the Ontario Safety League says greater education is a must on the roads.
Many people will be surprised to find out that there are areas on the 401 where the speed limit, the maximum, has already been increased to 110. And that was several years ago.
CTV News reached out to the Ontario Ministry of Transportation for comment, but did not hear back by our deadline. Robert Lothian, CTV News, Windsor.
In other news, a Bell River couple is opening their doors to the public this holiday season in hopes of spreading some holiday joy, showcasing their Christmas village 50 years in the making.
Somewhere in the 80s, when I got out of the service, I saw some of the village pieces. I was in its store in Chatham, and I liked the pieces at the time, and I bought a couple. And then I bought some more. And I bought some more.
That visit was the beginning of Stephen Mahovlich's Christmas Village.
Like I said, I probably got 50 that aren't up. At minimum 50 or better that are buried underneath. They're still in the boxes.
Then he got married to Mary, who took over the other side of the Bell River basement, recreating Christmas in New York City.
I have at least 200 buildings in mine, and every year they put out about 6 or 7 pieces, and I budgeted $2,000 a year towards my hobby.
But adding to this collection is becoming more of a challenge.
There's no real place local anymore that this is. When I first started here, you could buy it at Shanfield's, you could buy it at Colonial Nursery in Chatham, you could buy it at Colasanti's. I guess I'm going to have to go to Bronner's.
Staging Christmas Winter Wonderlands appears to run in the family.
My brother also collected at one point. He's probably got 150 pieces buried.
This year, they welcome the public, young and old, to come and experience their hobby firsthand.
I really wish more people could see it. Every time we have repairmen come in the house to pick something down the basement, oh, they got to see the village. And then, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I love kids.
If you would like to visit the Mahovlich's village, we have their email on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us for a final look at the weather after the break. And still ahead, Windsor police arrest the Grinch for Christmas theft and breaching probation. Gary joins us now. Gary, we're talking rain.
Rain, mild enough to see it. Good evening once again, Stephanie, folks. A green Christmas, a green wet Christmas is likely. It's just the way the weather is unfolding for the rest of this week. Today was cold to start and then got warmer and above seasonal. As we take a look at the almanac, under gray conditions, breezy at times and breezy-ist. Late night into the early morning, and then again for tomorrow afternoon across the region. That's a streak of snow with intermixed even freezing rain ice pellets in and around Sarnia. And snow, lake enhanced coming off of Lake Huron shores, the eastern shores further inland, draped between, say, London and Woodstock, some of the heaviest streams, but even for our good friends in Chatham, Kent, Erio, Rondo Park, some snow tonight, but we'll not see it stick around. It's because of that temperature rising, specifically for Windsor. Case in point, we can see temperatures rising, obviously warm enough to see snow changing over to rain, up to maybe 8 or 9 degrees tomorrow afternoon. More on temperatures in just a moment. So it's not a lot of rain, but it's spread across southern Ontario over the next 24 hours. I think it'll be heaviest between, say, 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. So that means the morning commute will be affected. And look at these temperatures, just above the freezing mark. That means there will be some areas that will be slightly below or at the freezing mark. Watch out for icy surfaces. Here's your breakdown for tomorrow. Tuesday is gray and wet through the morning, midday, afternoon, and evening. The wind's picking up as well through the noon hour and early afternoon. We could see gusts in that 35 to, say, 40, 45 range. Winds predominantly out of the west and or northwest as we head towards the evening. Take a look at our 7-day forecast, the highs and lows anticipated, which takes us through holidays. Obviously, Christmas being the big one, Thursday, Friday being Boxing Day. Lots of sales and people out and about. It looks like wet weather is the story there too. So wet tomorrow morning, a windy day, 9 degrees. Our average is closer to about 0 to +1 between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent. Cloudy through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with still temperatures above average. And mid-single digits on the plus side with rain anticipated for the last weekend of 2025. Even a week from now, we will be about 4 degrees above seasonal for a daytime high. The rain gear is in order as we close out 2025 indeed.
New details are emerging about the suspects behind the Bondi Beach attack in Australia. Court documents released show photographs of 2 homemade pipe bombs and surveillance images of the 2 suspected gunmen taken days before the attack that killed 15 people. Australian police say the 2 homemade bombs were thrown at a crowd at Bondi Beach before the mass shooting but failed to detonate. Police allege the 2 gunmen planned the attack for months and visited the beach 2 days before. Meantime, crews have begun cleaning up the thousands of bouquets of flowers and messages that were left at the site. The tributes will eventually be displayed at the Sydney Jewish Museum and the Australian Jewish Historical Society. Prime Minister Mark Carney has been named the Canadian Press Newsmaker of 2025, and the vote wasn't even close. Carney was picked by 72 of 95 respondents. Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's announcement last January that he was going to resign set the stage for Carney's rise to the PM's office. His elbows up message in response to President Trump's trade war and threats of annexation became the central theme of the Liberal campaign. Once in office, Carney launched a global charm offensive in a bid to diversify Canadian trade. Toronto Blue Jays slugger Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was a distant second in the Newsmaker survey with a mere 8 votes. Now, Carney has just announced a new ambassador to the United States. Mark Wiseman will replace Kirsten Hillman in February. CTV's Jeremy Chiron reports.
He is a global investment banker, pension fund manager, and friend of Prime Minister Mark Carney. Now, Mark Wiseman will be Canada's next ambassador to the U.S.
There is going to be an enormous amount of hurdles and landmines that the ambassador is going to have to walk through.
He steps into what is widely viewed as Canada's top foreign post without any diplomatic experience, but the Prime Minister's office points to his extensive experience at American financial institutions and knowledge of capital markets on both sides of the border.
He brings that outside of politics, real-world experience that I think will be of benefit to the country for sure.
In a social media post announcing the appointment, the Prime Minister says, as a core member of our negotiating team, I know he will advance the interests of Canadian workers, businesses, and institutions.
Carney is betting that Wiseman's finance credentials will command the attention and the respect of Trump.
A bet that couldn't come with higher stakes for the trade relationship between the two countries.
And there's a lot of anxiety over sectoral tariffs and then the Kuzma review. So really important here in this case that the Prime Minister has recruited someone who's a globally recognized deal maker.
In 2025, the current Kuzma deal helps shield Canada from the worst impacts of tariffs. But with its review set to begin in the new year, there are no guarantees.
The president can and quite possibly will walk away from this agreement. And if he does, then I think all bets are off.
Sources tell CTV News Wiseman won't be alone at the negotiating table. The Prime Minister, along with Dominic LeBlanc, the Minister in charge of Canada-U.S. relations, will also play critical roles. Jeremy Chiron, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada Post and the Postal Workers Union have reached tentative agreements. The two sides finalized the agreement after reaching a deal in principle last month. The deal, pending ratification votes set for early 2026, includes higher wage increases, enhanced benefits, and a weekend parcel delivery model. Both sides have promised not to engage in any strike or lockout activity during the ratification process. Stocks finished higher during the holiday trading week. The TSX is up roughly 252 points. In New York, the Dow rose 227, the Nasdaq added 121. The Canadian dollar was up about 3 cents of a tenth. On commodity markets, gold surged. Oil climbed 2.4%, roughly $58 a barrel. The holiday giving season is winding down, and for some local charities, the financial pressure is starting to show. One organization says donations are falling short and could soon force difficult decisions about staff and bed space. Here's CTV's Sanjay Maru.
As the end of the holiday giving season draws near, one organization in particular is finding itself in a concerning position. You wouldn't know it from the array of community Christmas gifts it has received for their clients, but Matthew House is in dire need of monetary donations, down about $170,000 comparing now to this time last year.
80% of the giving comes in the fall giving season. So what we get now actually has to last us through until July, August, when people start opening their wallets up a little bit again.
Matthew House provides shelter to refugee claimants, and its executive director, Mike Morency, says anti-immigrant rhetoric tied to the current U.S. political climate, combined with inflation, has created what he calls a perfect storm, one that's already resulted in staff layoffs. And if this trend continues, Matthew House says it may be forced to close its second home on the city's West End, displacing men, women, and children.
That means that the 44 beds are probably to be the next that we would have to close because we don't have the space here at Forest Glade to bring them over here.
Matthew House isn't the only organization feeling the strain as the holiday giving season winds down. At the Salvation Army in Windsor, officials say they're still working to close the gap in their annual kettle campaign.
Currently, we're at $164,000 that we've collected. Our goal this year is $250,000, so we're a little bit short, but we've got about 4 days that we could potentially have donations.
This as demand for services at the Salvation Army remains steady heading into the new year.
Inflation is hitting everywhere. It gets more expensive to run these programs.
We're 100% donor funded, so if somebody needs to take the bus and they don't have a source of income yet, that's money that Matthew House has to expend.
And consider this a testament to how far a donation can stretch. Matthew House says supporting one person's efforts to integrate into the community along with their shelter would cost just $167 for an entire month. In Windsor, Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
A very special delivery was made today in downtown Windsor just in time for Christmas.
Look up here if you can. There you go.
Windsor's charity organization Sleep in Heavenly Peace built, delivered, and assembled their 1,000th bed today. It's a milestone achievement for the organization that makes beds for children and youth who don't have one. The work is done by volunteers and the wood and bedding are donated. It's a telling statement about the need that exists and is ongoing in Canada, most importantly in our community.
We're able to do 250 to 300 beds a year. But it means that we're able to help kids in the community get up off the floor and onto a bed, get a good night's sleep, so that they could prepare for the challenges of tomorrow themselves.
And on the heels of two sold-out Slang Hunger concerts at the Chrysler Theatre, a big donation is going to local food banks. A record $123,000 was raised for food banks across Windsor, Essex, and Chatham-Kent. The Saints have been putting on the holiday fundraiser for 15 years. Food banks say the donation comes at a critical time, with demand continuing to grow well beyond the holiday season.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Legendary singer Barry Manilow has announced he'll need surgery to remove a cancerous spot on his lung and has had to reschedule multiple concerts. The 82-year-old performer says the cancer was discovered after an extended bout of bronchitis. The singer added that doctors don't believe the cancer has spread, so as far as treatment goes, he expects no chemo, no radiation, just chicken soup and I Love Lucy reruns. Gary joins me again. Gary, it's always frustrating to report on stories like this.
Yeah, and those kinds of things often happen at the end of the year. Mr. Manilow, a very talented artist, songwriter, wrote so many great songs and jingles as well for famous commercials. So we wish him well and pray that things are much better for him in 2026. Speaking of 2026, it's just around the corner, but these temperatures suggest, a couple of months ago, maybe a month and a half ago, right? Temperatures above the freezing mark with rain showers instead of snow. And we are in the winter season. Meteorological winter started December 1st, but in terms of the calendar, it started on Sunday. Look at these temperatures, a range between +3 and +9 for daytime highs, several degrees above seasonal, rainy tomorrow morning, and again for Boxing Day and the weekend that lies ahead. You'll be needing the umbrellas when you try to snatch all those great Boxing Day sales and deals.
And finally, a quick holiday note. This one very much tongue-in-cheek, but Windsor police say Christmas has been saved. Windsor police posting a festive and fictional update today, announcing the arrest of the Grinch. Officers say the grouchy green suspect was reported at, quote, 6767 Whoville Plaza, where he was trying to steal a Christmas tree, stockings, and an unreasonable amount of candy canes. Police joked the Grinch was already on strict bail conditions after last year's holiday mischief, including staying out of Whoville and avoiding all Christmas-related trouble. He was eventually caught, allegedly slowed down by too many candy canes, with all stolen holiday spirit safely recovered. That is your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. See you right back here tomorrow night.